Welcome to Cowgirl Talk, where we empower you to live authentically through real food, real talk, and real life. Sisters brought together by our love of cows. We're your host, Emily, a dairy lover and personal trainer living in Florida.
And Becca, a corporate cowgirl holding down the family fort in Pennsylvania. Let's go, cowgirls!
Hello, and welcome back to Cowgirl Talk. This episode's going to be a really fun one because we're going to talk about this concept that I saw on social media. And it wasn't created on social media, but I think it was created by more of a TED Talk scientist woman, and it's called a Dopamine Menu. And again, this is something that I saw, I think, first on TikTok, which I know, okay, maybe not like the most reliable source, but I did look into it a little bit more. And I sent it to Becca actually a few weeks ago, and I've continued to see more of it. And basically a brief description of it just for the intro of the episode, then we'll dive further into it, is a dopamine menu is your go-to list of things you can do to feel good throughout your day so you don't default to non-beneficial habits like doom scrolling. So it is kind of funny that I saw this on TikTok
While
because
you were
maybe
doom
at that
scrolling?
point, yeah, like, oh, maybe I was doom scrolling. And so when I saw this, and even as I looked further into it yesterday, it's basically creating a menu or a list of, again, the things that bring you joy more so within your daily life, right? More so within kind of the mundane things of life. And I think can really help you have fun just in the day to day instead of always feeling like, oh, I can only have fun or only looking forward to the really big things, which I feel like kind of quickly ties into our little bit of the episode we talked about last week at the end of the week. So before I go on a tangent about it, because as I started creating my dopamine menu, I was like, oh, this could take me forever. This is so much fun. We'll dive into our highs and lows and Buffalo. And also shout out to our Aunt Kathy and our mom. Our biggest fans, they liked the Buffalo addition.
So it
to
stays.
This.
It stays.
Yeah, so I'm excited to hear your high-low Buffalo, Becca.
Yeah, and I'm excited to dive into the episode because I love a good TED Talk science person.
Yes,
Science-
more official than us. Like, this isn't
sciencey
just
lady.
something that I made up or a random influencer made up. It's real, okay?
It is real. And I haven't made mine yet. So I'm going to be making mine with the audience because I am not an A+ student like Emily, literally and figuratively. So
yeah, this will be good though, because Becca kind of came up with that idea beforehand of, yeah, it'll be fun to walk through kind of the thought process of it. So if you're listening, you'll get to create it alongside Becca as I talk about mine, which I'm so excited
for. Get to experience me justifying being delinquent and not doing the task assigned to me.
Yay! We'll justify anything.
I can talk my way out of anything. That's why I'm in marketing.
Yay!
So, my high, which I talked a lot about in anticipation of my trip, was my trip to New York City, and it was so much fun. New York is still a stinky, dirty city. Like,
you texted Aaron and I, smells like pee.
It does smell like pee there. And I understand, like, it's kind of because there's a lot of garbage, and also it's the stinkiest place where there's a lot of homeless people. So that's sad. But overall, it's a stinky city.
Yeah.
But it was so much fun. That aside, we took the train up on Thursday, and I felt so, like, cool and chic because I was working from this dirty little train.
I am Carrie Bradshaw.
I know. And so, and I, like, literally, I had to, I missed a big meeting for work, and I was, for the first time proposing a really big new product, and I had to give this presentation from a train, and I felt so cool. A funny thing that happened. Okay, you know how, like, if you have a mouse for your computer and you plug it into your computer with a USB?
Are you
I
haven't used that before, but yes, I know the concept.
Okay, so you're, like, plugging your mouse in. Well, I had my mouse in my bag on the floor, and the train was really bumpy. And I still had my mouse plugged in. And I didn't realize it was moving my mouse for me. And Joe asked me, do you want me to go get you some lunch? And it must have unmuted me. And there's, like, 13 people in this room. I said, can you give me some chips? Like, I tried to chips. Can you give me some chips? And then my boss yelled, Becca, you're not on mute. I was like, oh my God, sorry. And they texted me. They're like, respect though. Were you just asking him to get you some cheese? And I just went, I was like,
yeah, sure.
oh,
Of
yeah.
course it was cheese,
Yeah,
not
of course.
chips.
Like respect
Health.
on me. But I thought that was funny. And then when we got to the city, just like it's a different world.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's up late. One night, we the best part that I'll use as my high was the U.S. Open, that tennis tournament. It was so cool, and I mean, it went all 5 sets, so it went as long as it could, is what I understand to my limited knowledge still. And they are so good. Tennis athletes are crazy. All athletes are crazy.
I know.
But just like how hard they hit the ball, how much they're running, the way they can slide and stretch, and they're limber.
The way they cover the court. Like, I've never played tennis, but I've seen how big a tennis court is. And I even pickleball sometimes. I'm like, damn, I can't cover this. And then to think about tennis, how much ground they're covering and how quickly that has to be. This is like not morbid, but I don't know how they don't like bust ankles and knees more for how they have to juke.
Yeah, I agree. And so we got there, and of course, like, we got there early to get, I feel like, I don't know if this is a family thing or if it's just a me thing, but I feel like whenever we see cool swag at an event, like, I leave my brain behind. Like, my brain is not with me. And
especially if it's Nike or Adidas. We're brand whores.
Yeah, the U.S. logo, I turned into a huge U.S. Open whore. And
hey guys, I went here. I win.
Yeah. And I like got back afterwards, and the next morning I'm like,
this is excessive.
I didn't need this much stuff. And then we did that. We like literally had to fight crowds to get the swag that was running out. It was crazy. And then we, did our Instagram research, since we're not TikTokers because we're old. Found like a spicy chicken sandwich we really wanted to eat. Ooh. There was other food, but the lines were insane. And so we only got one thing for us. And we also drank so many of the signature drink, the honey deuce. Yeah. And we have like 6 or 8 cups out there.
Oh, from good thing.
And Joe was, in the beginning, he kept saying, we don't need all these cups. We don't need all these cups. I was like, no, we are keeping these cups. He was, when are we going to use them? I'm like, I don't know, but we are keeping these cups. And by the end, as we were cleaning up our stuff and we had drank more, he's like, do we have all of our cups? These are pretty sweet. Do we have all of our cups?
Are they like the aluminum type of cups, kind of?
They're a plastic cup that has has the U.S. Open on it. And
here for it.
Yeah, just other stuff that if we ever have a dinner party, everybody gets a U.S. Open cup. So we're
having a tennis-themed dinner party.
Go to the U.S. Open? I can say, yeah. Do you want to see my hat and my shirt and my other hat?
Literally have like a wall of memorabilia now.
But those drinks were so good, and it was just like electric. The energy, everybody was pumped, and we took this subway there from the city, which was a whole journey in itself. But we realized after the match was over, we're going to get to the city and want to go to sleep because it's a 30-minute train ride. We're going to have to fight the crowd. It's in Queens.
Okay, which is still New York City, but like New York City's so big.
Yeah, and we got on the subway in Manhattan, and it was a 30-minute train ride.
Dang.
Actually easy peasy. But we decided, okay, well, there's a bar on the grounds that's still open. So we stayed at the bar, and this girl recognized Ella, our friend, from the Jumbotron.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because literally, so Ella, my best friend, and Emmy and I's college roommate, and my husband, Joe, got on the Jumbotron together 3 times.
That's amazing. And you never caught it on camera.
I never. Well, who would have thought?
I know, you're not expecting it.
Especially like first time, oh my God. Then the second time, like, no way they do it again. The third time, I was like, fuck you. F you guys. I'm not getting this on camera. And it was so funny. Joe tried to bring me. I was like, no, I don't want to be on the Jumbotron.
You're the couple now, not me.
And a girl came up at this like bar in the stadium. I was like, oh my God, you're the girl from the Jumbotron. I love your outfit. So obviously, like, Ella bought us all. Good for Ella. Yeah, Ella bought us all shots, and we were there until it closed, and we literally got kicked off. We got kicked out of the bar. They're like,
Were you the only ones in there?
we were the last ones in there. And then
Nice.
they're like, you can finish your drinks on the way to the exit. You have to leave. And then we got to the exit and hadn't finished our drinks yet. And so we were there. And then they came back and were like, you have to leave.
Like, bro, we're not relaxed. And
Well, they need it. They're like,
well, they
no.
should have kicked you out earlier then.
Well, this was at like by 1 a.m.
Yeah.
It was
But they
time
could
to
have
go.
like asked you to leave at 12:30.
Yeah, it was time to go. So that was my high. That was my high.
I love that. And I know when people go do cool things, I want them to post on social media as much as I do, basically documenting everything.
Oh.
And you barely did. And I was so annoyed of you barely posted anything from
You
the
know what?
trip. And I wanted documentation like I do when I go somewhere.
I
Because I
know.
post my whole life on social.
I feel like I usually document trips
Yeah.
well. There was something, and even my friend
Which
Whitney.
is good for you. Like, stay off your phone.
Yeah, I just did not even think. It was kind of crazy because even my friend Whitney, who is my tennis friend, she's like, hello, outfits, food, match.
I know,
What was it
nothing.
like? I know. So I have a post coming, and I'll be better next time. I'm usually a good stories girl, so apologies to all of my fans.
Me. It's me.
So what was your high, Emmy?
Okay, my high, I'm not trying to say it was cooler, but
It
to
might have
me, oh my gosh. I also just want to talk about it to make sure it was real and it actually happened. This isn't a dream I made up. So this past weekend, Ruben and I, we also went to a sporting event. We went up to Atlanta because the Atlanta Falcons were playing the Steelers. I'm a Steelers girly. Ruben's an Atlanta Falcons guy. So we knew we were going on Sunday with our friends, but we weren't sure if we were going to go up early, stay, whatnot. So Ruben and I decided to go to Atlanta Saturday. We really got there Saturday evening, and they just built a new hotel, the Signia by Hilton, right by the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which that stadium in itself is bougie. It's so big.
I mean, it's the
enclosed.
Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It has to be bougie.
Yeah, so it's very nice. And the hotel right beside it just got finished in January. And it was such a cool hotel, very 900 plus rooms, big. It has everything you need for a perfect sports fan. And it's a vibe, right? And we were just kind of walking around, tons of Steeler fans, of course, as most of them are flying in or traveling. And we saw the third or so floor of, private event. And you can tell it was where all the players go. It was all of their meeting rooms, like a chapel, a defense, offense room. And so automatically we're like, oh my gosh, the Steelers are freaking staying here. Holy shit. And okay, now I'm getting off track because I'm getting so excited. So what did we do? Then we got ordered in Hattie B's, which is the best chicken sandwich in the whole world. Everyone should try it if they ever see
really
a Hattie
good.
B's. So good. And then we got a drink at the sports bar, which everything was packed. So we just had one drink overlooking the Mercedes-Benz. And then Ruben wanted to go show me the gym because he went to the gym in between, just, go get a quick run in. He's like, go, let's go see it. It's just really cool. I just want to show you. And it's right by the pool. And again, all of this just looks over at the stadium. So we went over to the 5th floor and we're walking past the pool entrance and there's a security guard, not super intense or anything, but there was just a guy guarding the door out to the pool. And we just want to go out, even look at the hotel pool bar. He's like, oh, hey, guys, this is closed right now. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But the bar's out here, right? He's like, yep. We're like, oh, okay, whatever. Walked over to the gym. And then we noticed there's someone in the pool. And there was a coach sitting at the edge of the pool. And then there was a player in the pool. And we're like, oh, my God, this is a Steelers player exercising right now. And Ruben's like, that's Russell Wilson. I was like, no way. Because Russell Wilson's like beefier and stockier than I thought. I was like, no way, that's Russell Wilson. And
and we're all like, okay, but was Sierra there?
I know. I did not see her. But the gym basically, it's wide open. It's all windows. So Russell Wilson saw us creeping and we're like, Ruben's like, let's go. I was like, hey. And so I did walk by then back to the security guard and I walked up and I was like, should I ask him if that actually was? I mean, the worst he can do is say no.
Yeah.
And so I walked up to him and I was like, am I allowed to ask, was that a Steelers player? He's like, yeah, that was Russell Wilson. He was so excited to tell me. And so, okay, that already happened. We were already on a hike. So that was so cool. And the hotel's 34 floors. It's so big. So there's 2 different sets of elevators. And we got on the wrong set of elevators. We just were not paying attention. And Ruben, I can't see the elevator yet. And Ruben walks into the elevator and I hear, yo, it's fucking Mike Tomlin. And
You know what's so funny is literally you texted our family that, and every single one of us said, "Oh my god, we can hear Ruben saying that." Joe and I throughout the whole weekend were like, "Yo, it's fucking Mike Tomlin!" Like,
yeah,
he's better at imitating like drunk surprised Ruben.
yeah.
And Aaron said the exact same thing. Oh my god, I can totally hear Ruben saying that, which was just hilarious.
Well, yeah, like Ruben doesn't, and when he, when we drink, he can get funny like that. But when we each only had one drink, and so for him to just say that out loud, and then also say it in front of Mike Tomlin, was just like, oh, he just said this in front of Mike Tomlin, and I thought he was messing with me because we just saw Russell Wilson, and then
He's like, let's play a funny prank on Emmy.
Yeah, and I walked into the elevator, and it's Mike Tomlin just standing there, surrounded by normal people. And I say out loud, I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. And Mike Tomlin's, oh no, don't act like that now. And it was
probably like, but keep acting like that.
Yeah, because for anyone who doesn't know, Mike Tomlin is the head coach of the Steelers. Yeah. And he's been there a long time. I mean, when Bill Cowher retired, Mike Tomlin came in. So most Steelers fans know who this guy is. He's kind of been a staple now for quite some time. But Ruben, when he walked in and said that, he said it almost seemed like no one realized who that was, or at least no one had said anything. So we're the ones who came in and said something. and once we said that, people were like, oh my gosh. Everyone's kind of started talking. And it was just so freaking cool. I just started shaking because I was so excited. I mean, I don't usually fangirl, but it's Mike Tomlin. And so I got a selfie with him, and I was like, I
can tell Emily's literally crying in the selfie.
Yeah, no, I didn't actually, but yes, you can tell I'm cheesing it, trying to hold myself together, and I fibbed a little bit. I was like, oh my gosh, I've always loved the Steelers. I have a lot of family in Pittsburgh. Lie, we're not technically in Pittsburgh.
Literally zero family in Pittsburgh.
But I was like, okay, can I please take a selfie with you? He's like, yeah, of course, and he was so cool. And then after another kid got a selfie with him. But yeah, after that, I was just riding on a high. And when he walked out the elevator, I was like, good luck tomorrow. And we won. So that was definitely because of me.
Obviously, it was that good elevator juju.
Yeah. And I'm glad I had a pretty neutral outfit on, but I had a Pittsburgh Pirates hat on. So I'm glad I had something Pittsburgh on. So to confirm that I was actually a fan. Because when I took the selfie in the live video of it, because now most pictures do that, I don't know who said it. I don't know if they're talking to me or someone else, but in the background, they're like, I hope you're a Steelers fan. So it was just funny that I captured that. So, yeah, that's my hat. And then, of course, the game was fun. We saw friends, and the Steelers won. And TJ Watt, one of our defense guys, he's an animal. It was really fun to watch.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, it was so much fun.
It makes our lows seem so small.
Yeah. Lows are boring. But what's your low?
It's dark outside whenever it's getting light now-ish. So we recorded this early, but it's 7 a.m., so it's getting light. But there for a while in maybe season 3, I can't remember which season, it was light even that early whenever we started recording it. So it's getting darker earlier and earlier, which makes me a little sad. But thanks to my buffalo, my mug that looks exactly like my dog Phoebe.
It's so cute.
Keeps me maybe I'll put this on my dopamine menu. My little mug that looks like my dog. And so the low is that it's dark, and then I would say my buffalo is actually Phoebe turned 3 yesterday.
Yay!
So the day before we were recording, she has a bit of a somber birthday. September 11th.
Oh, I didn't even... 9/11.
Yeah, so she brings a little light to that day. Yeah. And she did all of her favorite things, which is doing absolutely nothing and eating peanut butter.
Ooh, what a day. Yeah, sounds nice.
We didn't, neither of us went and bought her like a dog treat, like a special one. So we had some treats here. So I tried to go all fancy chef and line a bowl with peanut butter and, spread it down the middle, crumbled up the
Oh my God.
biscuit, and then put
Oh
a little whipped
God.
cream on it.
Wow. He went all out for Phoebe.
I did. I was like, I'm having more fun making Phoebe's birthday dessert than I've ever had cooking for myself.
It's fun because I don't know, like who knows what dogs do or don't understand, but it's funny too, just of
Yeah.
thinking about it and
I mean, she finished
doing
it and
it.
she looked up at me. She's like, that was it? I'm like, you never
Yeah,
get
like
this. What do you mean that's it?
yeah, wow, thank you so much for your effort. That was nothing.
What about you, Em?
Okay, my lows kind of similar. I mean, I learned, well, I've been in Florida now for years, but it does take longer to get lighter here in the mornings, and it's always been like that. Even in the summertime, I feel like it's not light out till 7 or so. So I feel that. And for whatever reason, and I think it's because there's a hurricane kind of hitting more of the Gulf Coast closer to Louisiana, but but it has been cloudy and rainy in Florida. And I miss the sunshine. Legit, haven't seen the sunshine in a couple of days, it feels like. And that's very unusual for Florida. I know that's kind of normal back in Pennsylvania, but Florida, not so much. I'm just not used to it. So I would just love to see some sunshine. Maybe I'm manifesting that today. We will see. And a low, just dealing with some period cramps, but not bad. And then my buffalo, I was thinking of this because still getting used to this concept of like, okay, just a random fact, but we saw It Ends With Us last night. So first off, fun to go to
Mm.
the movies in the middle of the week, but I enjoyed it. But I wanted to compare it to the book a little bit. I hadn't read the book in a couple years, and I was just curious on little details. And so then last night when I got back, I spent way too much time reading different parts of the book and then ended up going to bed at like midnight. So that's my buffalo of just totally losing track of time trying to compare little parts of the book and the movie. And yeah, that was just unnecessary. But I just got so deep into it, I couldn't stop.
They did a pretty good job. I mean, they obviously made them older in the
Which
movie.
makes sense, honestly.
And there were a few things like obviously it wasn't as graphic as
I know
the book.
that's what when I really caught up with all the parts of the incidents that happened in the book because I couldn't
Yeah.
remember them, and I was like, "Ooh, they're way more intense in the book."
Yeah, and there are way more in the book. So I think to keep it PG-13, they just had to give the general idea. But they did, as far as books to movies go, I was pretty impressed. In the opening scene, the conversation wasn't exactly the same.
No, yeah,
I was like,
as I was reading through it, I was like, I don't know if I should have done it, but because it was then reminding me, okay, of course the book is better, but that makes sense, right? You just cannot pack the amount of monologue, inner thoughts, all of that into from a book into just one movie, and
mhm.
even the timeline I realized was a little different. So I do feel like the book gives you a better idea of kind of the pull that the main character deals with of like staying or going. And it
Yeah,
just helps you understand that logic a little bit more. Where in the movie, you have to interpret it a little bit. Because I saw it with my friend Karen, who had not read the book yet, and it was just cool to hear her opinion to mine because it was just based on
yeah,
the movie itself.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
All
that's
right.
our high-low buffaloes. And now, finally, we could talk about the main portion of this episode, which is the dopamine menu. And I have my notes up here because, again, I was looking at these yesterday and I just started to go in and writing so much down because I just thought it was very interesting. So, last week at the end of the episode, we were talking about, getting excited for fall. And sometimes it feels like we almost wish away the present, looking forward to the next best thing. Again, if we're in the summer, oh, we want the fall. Or now that it's fall, we're already thinking about Christmas, which it's fine to get excited about things. But then I feel like we lose track of the moment. And I feel like the dopamine menu is a fun way to just be more intentional about living in and really enjoying the moment and making the most of that. So I did technically write down kind of what a definition of this is because as I talk about my dopamine menu, Becca's going to kind of be creating hers as well. And y'all can listen to this and almost create your own dopamine menu. I think this will also be helpful as we're leaving summer or leaving the sunshine months, heading into, shorter days, longer darkness, and hopefully this can be helpful. So a dopamine menu is a curated list of pleasurable, healthy habits and activities that naturally elevate your dopamine levels, boosting happiness, motivation, and focus. And basically, it just provides an actionable and sustainable approach to prioritize your mental and I even think physical well-being. And it the concept originated from a YouTube video made by Jessica McCabe. And her YouTube channel is called How to ADHD. And so for anyone dealing with ADHD, this was also kind of a concept created for you as well. And where the menu part comes in, so a dopamine menu is a similar concept to a restaurant menu, of course, right? So there's going to be different sections: appetizer, entree, sides, desserts, and specials. And I'll kind of go through and talk about what those mean, but it just is a little part of each life that these different categories kind of fit into. And so that is from the everygirl.com I found. And
Ooh, I
as
like
I
that
was,
she calls it a Dopamine Menu.
oh, yeah, yeah. Are you reading the article?
Yeah, I'm reading, the part that you put out, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yes. Oh, she also called it Dopamine Menu sometime, which is a funny little cute way to call it. And as I was also scrolling TikTok again yesterday, which the dopamine menu will help me not do it as much, but this was a positive scroll, not a doom scroll. I also saw a video of a girl talking about a concept from her grandma that not the exact same, but I felt like it really tied into this. And it was called polishing the present, basically doing little things in the moment that can just make it a little bit better for you. And for her, it was talking about, okay, she was going on a walk. So she was going to grab a little coffee, listen to some fun music, hopefully embrace the sunshine. Or if you're running errands, wearing an outfit you feel cute in, right? Just recognizing, what am I already doing and how can I elevate this a little bit more to just kind of have fun with this or really just enjoy what I'm doing. Because again, I even know I get caught up in it of looking always towards like, well, what am I doing this weekend? Like, what's this next big trip we're going on? Da da da. That I lose track of maybe the mundane little things in life, which ultimately is what life mostly is, more than the big extravagant moments.
Yep, I love that. And I feel like we've kind of talked about this before, but in different ways, in a way
Mm-hmm.
that's a little less formal. And this
Yeah.
gives it structure. And I'm sure the sciencey TED Talk lady has some legitimate research behind this, which is
Mm-hmm.
like, makes it a little bit more official, which I like. And I'm curious to hear um, what yours are so I can start thinking of mine, which I see here. I feel like I'm just going to copy and paste yours. And then where you say Ruben, I put in Joe.
I love it. And no, I enjoyed this as well because it made such a good point of, our brain produces dopamine and that's kind of what causes us to be happy. But with so many stimulants now of social media, of just everything being available at our fingertips, we're always looking for that next quick hit, but it's not always going to be beneficial, right? So like,
Yeah.
oh, the likes we got on Instagram, someone commenting on my Facebook status, someone, sharing a video on TikTok, whatever it may be. And there's other things, but I think that's where this can really come from as well, of recognizing that where can we feel good, but making sure that it's coming from a place that doesn't make us feel like crap afterwards. And I think doom scrolling was mentioned a couple times because, again, social media can give us such a quick hit of dopamine, but these are creating actionable items that allow you to feel good, but also feel better afterwards as well. And so for me, as I started to kind of create this, it was fun and almost kind of tricky to narrow it down, but it really helped me be more mindful of what actions in my day maybe do or don't make them more enjoyable. And it also just kind of made me feel really grateful that there are just these little things that you don't think of all the time. And then it's like, wait, I do incorporate a lot of fun little things that just allow me to enjoy life and allow you to just really be present in the moment. And so as I talk about my dopamine menu and kind of explaining what each section means a little bit, hopefully you guys can listen to this and maybe create your own a little bit, whether, you're living a great, amazing life and you already love everything, or if you're kind of in a rut and you're like, no, I do need a little bit of inspiration because I'm feeling like crap as I go throughout the day. So with that, they do describe in the article, and I think even the video, you can create your dopamine menu any way you want, and you can break it up into sections in any capacity, or you can just have one big menu. I thought it would be fun to kind of stick to the script and build out the menu as they talked about. So First up is appetizers. And a quick little description of that is this is the section of the dopamine menu that kind of contains quick and easily accessible ways to produce dopamine. So something that's not super time consuming, you can kind of quickly enjoy throughout the day or whenever you need a break. So if you're just having a moment like, oh, I literally want to rip my hair out, these are things that you can do just kind of quickly. And so for me, and again, I was like, I could put these into any category. I don't know, but some
Yeah,
appetizers for me.
don't think too
Yes.
hard. The dopamine menu is not meant to stress you out. So
Literally, yeah.
if organizing doesn't bring you joy,
Just write down whatever.
it's an a la carte. It's an a la carte menu.
Oh, that's in the side section. So just hold your horses.
shit.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. But no, that's a very good point too. Because I was going through this and I was like, ooh, I gotta fit my things perfectly into each category. But no, ultimately, these are all things that you're gonna enjoy and do. So it doesn't have to be perfect. It was just kind of fun to learn how to categorize them a little bit. So for appetizers, I'll just kind of go through mine. And Becca, I want to hear what you resonate with and maybe what you would add or take away from that. So for little things that I feel like I kind of do throughout the day are for me, I love my morning espresso in one of my favorite mugs. So I I have a separate shelf for my mugs compared to Ruben's because I collect Starbucks mugs and I have a few other ones. And so getting to pick my little mug in the morning with my fun little Nespresso and one of my coffee creamers just brings me so much joy. And it's just a little thing. I also just love to watch a little bit of the Today Show if I'm, home, which I'm always home because I work from home. Whatever it may be, I like to turn it on, and that's just something I really enjoy. Wearing a cute outfit to the gym because when you look good, you feel good. And I also love to jam out in my car. And for that, have a singing songs playlist specifically because no matter where I'm going, if I'm just going to jam out, that's an instant mood boost for me. And then as I was writing this last night, I was burning a really yummy candle. And for me, I just maybe they're not great for you, like they're toxic, whatever. But just when I get a good candle going, it just creates an ambiance in the house. So those are my little appetizers, just the little things for me that bring me a hit of dopamine, I guess.
Well, I agree with all of them.
Yay.
Three that I thought of is in addition to the Nespresso and a cute mug, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. If you can see my Phoebe mug, if you're watching.
Mine? Here's mine. Becca got this one for me. It's my Pennsylvania Starbucks mug.
Oh, I have found that I like putting a little bit of light cream in my coffee, which is a little bit heavier than half and half, but not quite heavy whipping cream. So it's more indulgent, like what they use in coffee shops. So I like that. I like kissing my dog.
I didn't know where that was going to go. I was like, okay,
just like a quick little pet and smoochy smooch on the top of the head. Yeah, it's just like a real I love this freaking dog.
Sure, I love to squeeze Hudson. Just like, oh, I love you.
Yeah, like I love you so much. It's not a full cuddle. It's just a quick little. Yeah, I love you. If you heard my little smooch, and then this one is if I do not know what to do. If I'm like so overwhelmed with emails or whatever it might be, I don't know. I find something that I can quickly reorganize or fix. So for example, we have like a blanket couch cover that Phoebe, it lasts like literally a day max. So I'm always fixing it. Or if there are just a few dishes that I need to put in the dishwasher, it's not all cleaning. It's just like a quick little hit of, I can fix something.
Yep.
And it makes me feel it makes the space feel less chaotic. Or in my inbox, I will take 5 minutes to just go through and organize some emails or like make sure my to-do list is organized, and it's not necessarily productive, but I literally, other than sitting there and freaking out, I'm like, okay, what can I do that's like this, a quick hit of making me feel more organized. So I like that.
Ooh, I like those additions. But yeah, again, quick little things throughout the day. You're like, okay, I can do this, I can manage this. And just a little bit of relief afterwards, right? And then, kind of building upon that, are the entrees. So, the entrees are considered the main course, right? This includes some longer activities that you may need to plan a little bit or carve out some more time for, whether that's, an hour or a few hours. And they're meant to recharge you just a little bit more again. So, they kind of require more effort, but then they give you a little bit of that bigger hit of dopamine. And so, again, going through this, I was like, oh my gosh, what are my main things? And it doesn't have to be that deep, but some things that I wrote down then would include exercise, of course. May not always want to do it in the moment, but afterwards, I'm always going to feel usually much better. And I mean, it's just science as well. Like exercise, you can get endorphins and it just helps you feel better. So for me, that can be running, strength training, golf, pickleball, whatever it may be. And then, Becca, I know you mentioned cleaning or even just a quick clean, but if I have the time, doing a deeper clean or decluttering my space, I feel much more organized after, and just it helps clear my mind as well. And I love reading. And for me, I can spend hours reading, which may fall into one of my desserts that, okay, which I'll talk about soon, but like maybe I shouldn't stay up so late doing it. But it also helps me not scroll as much late at night. So reading kind of keeps me in check, especially my fantasy romance. And then getting ready for the day, which this may not take that long, but getting ready for the day in some capacity helps me just feel a little bit cuter, right? Whether that's just wearing an outfit that's not sweats, a little makeup, or just doing my hair in whatever capacity. And then also visiting friends and just seeing people. Honestly, Becky, you work from home too, and I'm pretty much by myself all day. So that's a nice hit of interaction and just getting out of my own head there.
Yeah. I like these, and my brain immediately is like starting to separate my personal dopamine menu and my professional like workday dopamine menu.
Oh,
Which I feel like some of them kind of, go together.
yeah.
Exercise, definitely. Like
Yep.
tennis, figuring out how to, get that in during the week. Or the spin classes or the weightlifting classes. So I think, exercise for me is a social experience.
Yeah.
And so planning out time at places that I like. One is actually our cycle studio is starting a book club where you have like
So fun. Oh, I love a good book club.
rides based on the theme of the book,
Heck
like with the
yeah.
music. So that'll be a fun entree. Love the planning the trips. All of these are fabulous. I agree with all of them. Another one would be walking Phoebe, like
Mm-hmm.
carving out time in the day to walk. And then another one I think would be professionally, like finding time to just catch up, to not talk about work. Like I
I like
have
that.
2 meetings with coworkers from previous lives. One's a book club where we do talk about
Mm-hmm.
the book for a little bit, and then another one is we call it an idea exchange,
Oh,
which we do exchange some ideas about work, but most of it's just like let's have some
life.
fun. Yeah, life, a little bit of office gossip, all the things. And then with my Yvonne and I, who's on my team, once a
Mm-hmm.
month we have a check-in at a coffee shop, and we're working our way through all of the coffee shops that are within a reasonable distance from
Yeah.
us. So like those are things that are carving out our day that get us out of the office and get us out of our ruts within within the workday. So I like this.
Yeah, see, it's fun because you can even just go through and realize, like, oh, what do I want to maybe kind of keep doing
Oh,
more of that? Just elevate it. Oh, what? Are you adding
hair
something else?
hair appointments.
Oh, yes. So
That
I
might
like
be
all
a
those.
dessert.
I know. Yeah. As you're talking through them, I was like, I would categorize these differently, actually. No, I'm just kidding. No, because I went through and read the different definitions again. But no,
Are you
all of
judging
these.
my categorization?
No, I'm just going to explain it all a little bit more specifically. But no, all
Oh my
these
god.
would, regardless, fit on a dopamine menu somewhere. So I support it. And I have a hair appointment today. So, oh my gosh, I'm going to get such a big dopamine hit. Yes. Okay, moving on though. Do you have any more entrees?
No.
Okay, so for our sides, which sometimes my sides are like the favorite part of the meal, right? So a side is going to be something that basically you're going to do two things at once. As Becca says, like two birds, one scone, right?
Feed two
You're like,
birds with one scone, please.
yeah,
Stop killing them with stones.
so this is your positive spin on it. And it says, this is a side of the menu basically reserved for activities that are ideal for accompanying other things that are maybe less enjoyable, but necessary, right? And so this is where it's kind of like polishing your present. How can you just elevate a little bit more of what you already have to do? And for me, if I'm going to be doing more computer work or sitting down for a while, again, I'm by myself most of the time. So it's just silence and it's like, ooh, I hate this. And I will just play a little bit of music in the background. It's small, but it just also helps me stay a little bit more focused. And there's a playlist on Spotify called like Jazz Bar in NYC, and it's just a vibe. It makes me feel like I'm more bougie than I am. And so on jazz music as well, I enjoy cooking, but if there are just some nights I'm like, I don't want to do this. This is dumb. I'll also play some jazz music in the background. It makes me feel like I'm a chef at a restaurant or something. And while I walk Hudson, which that in itself I'd say would also be on my menu, I enjoy that. Sometimes though it can feel a little like, oh, I don't have enough time. But to kind of make the most of that walk or when I'm outside, I also like to listen to a podcast of some sort or maybe just fun music. There's a playlist called My Life is a Movie, and it just makes you feel like the main character. And again, bonus if there's sunshine. So those would be my sides to elevate kind of a lot of my daily activities.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about this one more. It's like a good steakhouse broccoli. You know what I mean?
You went for broccoli out of all the sides. You went for broccoli.
No, we were talking about this steakhouse. It's so good, like a steakhouse broccoli. That's a side because they're making broccoli good.
That's true. That's true. It's like doused in butter and seasonings.
Dopamine menus. I did not expect to come into this conversation with you shitting on me for my choices.
Well, I'm your sister, so duh.
Here's your warning: do not do with siblings.
Or I'll keep it in check. I'll just make sure it's a good dopamine menu. So just keeping it real.
You know what? I like all of these, and I would also say, I have to drive a lot. So, and driving can be a daunting task and just a long task. So having good audiobooks on deck.
Like that. Yep.
Because what's good about these is you don't have to like really focus all the time on music and really listen. But audiobooks, I need time to actually like listen to them, which so sometimes they can feel like a chore, but I feel like having them as a side while I'm driving and have literally nothing else to distract me other than paying attention to driving allows them to be a dopamine hit, which is what they are. So
I feel that.
Yeah, I would say that.
I like that addition. I was just driving this weekend and Monday, and I needed to focus because it was dreary, and I was like, I just need something other than music, and I started listening to an audiobook, and it's really good. The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying, and it just helped me focus, and it made me cry during the drive too. So like not super dopamine that book, but
sometimes crying makes you feel good though.
I love crying.
I also love crying.
That's on my dopamine menu, crying.
Honestly. And it's like, you know what, doing this stuff like audiobooks specifically while you're driving, while you're cleaning, while you're folding or putting away laundry, like the really miserable tasks that you don't have to think about. Whereas like cooking or working or walking, well, walking could fit into audiobook. Music is better because it can just be there to make you happy, but you don't have to give it energy to pay attention.
Yep. Agree. Okay. Oh, I like it. And as y'all listen to this, if you start coming up with your own dopamine menu items that are the same or different, we would love to hear them because I am just curious now as I start creating this. I'm like, wonder what everyone else does to just, enjoy their day to day. And with that, let's go to our favorite part. I mean, it's all great, but desserts. I love desserts.
Emmy is a dessert girl. She'll murder you with a spoon.
Yes. The rest of the dessert. I'll fight my way for it. But these are the things that you do that you love, but are best enjoyed in moderation. And otherwise, they could become technically they call it unhealthy, right? Like not bad or wrong, but just finding the appropriate balance for them. And that's kind of like dessert, right? So dessert could be on my dessert dopamine menu. But when I was thinking of this, it's things that's like, okay, I enjoy, but I know I should not spend all of my time here. Because I think some people might think like, let me go binge a show or whatever it may be. But again, it may not be the most productive use of our time. So for me, it is maybe watching a few episodes of my favorite show, which I'm not. I like series, but I don't get so caught up in them because I also enjoy reading. But for me, when Outlander, when I watched that series,
Oh,
I went
you
insane
were
on Outlander.
obsessed. You and mom.
Yeah, I would just lose sleep over that. So again, that's why it was best done in moderation. Also, have been recently watching Sex in the City, which is so much fun, and uh, TikTok in moderation. I put that in capitals, in moderation, because there's just really funny stuff on there that
That's
makes
why I
me
don't have it,
laugh.
because I know the
Yeah.
best stuff will eventually make it to Instagram.
Oh God,
And
Instagram Reels is just not the same experience. Dumb.
I know myself, and I'd never come out of that hole. But
Yeah. So again, that's
maybe if I
why.
have the dessert mindset, I could get TikTok.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, I can get better about it. So I say it's a dessert in moderation, but sometimes it's just doom scrolling, and then sleeping in. I don't know if that counts or if that's a correct thing, but some people say like, oh, I can't sleep in. Like my body just wakes up. Not me. I could sleep in
Yeah,
so
same.
easy. Uh, Even if I go to bed early, like I could keep sleeping. I mean, I don't because I'm a mature adult most of the time. But I love sleeping in. Like I totally
Same.
could. If there's nothing to do, I will sleep in, and that makes me happy. But again, we can't do it all the time. And then I didn't know if this really felt in the dessert section, but working at a coffee shop if I'm craving human interaction. That's not anything that's bad at all, but I'm not trying to spend money on coffee every single day or go get like an excessively calorically dense coffee shop drink. They're delicious, but I try to stick to maybe one fun coffee a week, but that's just a little thing that I enjoy that brings me happiness, but also again, if I'm just like I need to work around people, I'm lonely. If Ruben's traveling, that helps me. So those are my desserts.
Ooh, yeah, the coffee shop one, I think it's more about the coffee that you're purchasing than the act of
Yes.
working at a coffee shop that is a
Yeah.
dessert. So I
Yeah.
agree with that one.
That point.
Like getting a fancy coffee or ordering takeout for lunch
Ooh,
versus
yeah.
eating
Takeout
what I have
sometimes
here,
is fun.
or takeout in general, like takeout
Yes.
for
Yep.
dinner, going out to eat instead of eating what you have at home. But I know you also, oh, sorry, I might be digging into the specials a little bit with my
No, I would
desserts.
consider that dessert.
Um, and then one thing I thought of was an everything shower.
Oh, yeah. I also saw that on one of like when I was looking through everything. I was like, oh, that's
Because
such
like
a
I
good
should
one.
not be in the shower for 25 minutes every day.
30 minutes. Let's be real.
Like washing your hair, some
Scrubs.
scrubbing, shaving, like a face mask then
Yep.
afterwards, and then like you're blow drying your hair and doing your hair. So the works. I would put an
Mm-hmm.
everything shower and an everything follow up routine, like the whole thing. A whole spa
Yeah.
experience at home is definitely dessert for me. Um,
I feel that.
and then, ooh, favorite shows. I love that. Desserts, I would say watching a movie with Joey. We're like big
Ooh.
movie people.
Yeah.
So when he
Yeah. We grew
plops
up
down
watching
on
so
the
many movies.
when he plops down on the couch and says, "Movie night," yes.
Yes.
And we might and he always says it around 8:30, and I'm like, "Oh, we're going to have to stay up late." So we have to stay up instead of
Ruben just
going,
falls asleep.
I can't. It depending on the movie, I do too. I'm a fall asleep anywhere kind of person. So movies, I would say, because yeah, we have to stay up late. So, um, ooh, and then this might be a dessert, or it may have been an entree. No, I don't know.
So you start
Maybe
to
an
think about it too
appetizer
much. It's like, okay, well,
is
I'll tell you where it
the
goes.
the New York Times games. Like every day at lunch, I
Oh,
play,
I feel,
or it's either lunch or dinner while I'm eating. So maybe it's a side. I play
yeah.
the New York Times games, and I have my exact order that I play them in,
Mm-hmm.
and I love it. It's just so fun, a fun little break in the day, and that's definitely a dopamine hit for me.
I
Except
feel like that's
for
a
when
perfect appetizer.
I agree. Yeah, except when I don't get them right. I get really,
Damn it.
I'm like, God, I'm so stupid. Or like, I get mad at them because I'm like, that's not a real word. I'm
Maybe I
smart.
just don't know it. Oh, there's a word I don't know. Wrong.
Incorrect.
You're wrong. Yeah, that's a great one. I forgot about that. I feel like, again, they can go anywhere, but I feel like that's the perfect appetizer because it's just a quick little thing you do.
Yep.
Oh, I
Okay.
love it.
Ooh, I'm excited to hear. I like this little ending, the way.
Yes. So yeah, I also enjoyed looking through too because it does kind of make you just it made you categorize it and just kind of think of things differently almost. And their last one was specials. So the specials are things that maybe aren't always available and they might just be more expensive or time consuming. So you just kind of enjoy them once in a while. And so this can, I feel like, be big things. It can also be small things, but maybe however you enjoy. But for me, like you said, takeout can be fun and such. But for more of a special, like going just on a bougie dinner with Ruben
Mm-hmm.
or anyone, but like if we go kind of on a more bougie date night, I love that. I am a foodie. We're all foodies. I'm also a steak snob. So give me a good steakhouse. I'm so here for it. And I'm going to get the full menu, just like this full dopamine menu. I'm getting everything on the menu. I'm hitting all these categories. And then I would say trips in general. Of course, like I love traveling, but weekend trips, if it's just maybe a little bit of a quicker thing that you can do, not all the time, but maybe a little bit more often than a big
Yeah.
trip, whether that's, something drivable. Always love a good weekend trip. And then for me, I guess I would consider this a special. So this is where you said hair. So I feel like hair could maybe kind of fit into the special category just because we're not getting our hair done weekly. But I do a monthly skincare facial appointment, and I know that's not something everyone can do, but it's something I absolutely love being able to do. And there's just a med spa here in Gainesville, and my estheticians are so cool. So honestly, more than even the skincare itself, which is great, I love going to just gab with these girls for an hour. So while I'm getting my skincare done, it's like so I had one this week and we talked about books the whole time. And so that's just something for me that I really look forward to. But it's only about once a month. So those are my specials. And I feel like as I read and listen to all of these, you can add a lot to this, but it was fun to build this base.
I think vacations definitely fit in this one.
Yep.
Like our NYC trip or our family vacations to the beach where it
Yeah.
requires more time and more money and maybe a little planning. Maybe not as much like, ooh, on a whim. I'm not going to,
Yes.
drop a
Yes.
couple grand on a vacation. But another one that I was thinking of is, especially as we're getting into fall, though it's not quite there yet, is seasonal treats. See,
Ooh.
like if you like going to pumpkin patches or to
Oh,
corn
yeah.
mazes or like all the really cool, I feel like fall markets that they have or fall events that they have,
Yeah.
or I forgot a seasonal treat like a coffee or a baked good could probably fit
Yep.
somewhere in this dopamine
Yeah, but I
list.
get the concept.
Um, or even in winter whenever you're doing really Christmassy things.
Mm-hmm.
Or putting on a Christmas playlist. So I feel like something I thought of coming to the end of this is you could even have a seasonal dopamine list.
Ooh, that's so much fun. I really like
Yeah.
that too. Can that also, it keeps you in the moment. It keeps you in the season.
Yeah, like,
That's clever.
look at me. A plus, plus, plus,
A
plus.
plus. Yeah, makes up for all of your lack of prep.
My terrible choices. Terrible.
No, they were all great.
Yeah, right.
I thought you were going to say though with
Judging
that as
me.
well, because I was thinking of it. Cow shows. I
Oh,
love a fun cow show. That is
cow
so special because
shows. Yeah.
we don't get to go off as often anymore. We're
Ooh,
just
a good
so
side. A
okay. What's your
keystone light.
side?
A keystone light while washing a cow.
Yeah. Yes. In the wash rack, like
Our cow
when
friends
it's
will
sunny.
understand that, or like the same playlist that people have played for like 10 years, 20
Yeah, I think
years.
of the All American Dairy show specifically because
Yeah.
I know that's coming up. It's in Harrisburg. So that's something we were always able to go to
Yep.
and show at. And it was usually still kind of warm. So the afternoon wash in the sunshine with some music and a beer, that was
Was
fun.
awesome.
That's definitely special.
You get a little bit buzzed, and then you
Yep.
go to the glass lounge and have a steak and a salad with like literally 3 pounds of shredded carrot on it.
Yep. That day, like that whole day is a
That
special.
whole day is a special. Yeah, I like
Cow
that.
show, beers and wash, and then a steak.
Grilled cheese at World Dairy Expo.
Oh gosh, and that's Becca and I will both be World Dairy Expo, so we're gonna build up our dopamine menu there as
World
well.
Dairy Expo dopamine menu. I like that.
Oh, yeah, that is fun. Just creating dopamine menus for different situations too.
I love it.
Wow. See, isn't it so fun? As I was going through and creating this yesterday, I was like, this is really fun. And you can kind of keep thinking of it in different ways. But do you feel like you have a solid dopamine menu now?
I feel like I have a rolling dopamine menu.
Yeah, I can keep going. I know. Oh, that was so much fun. And I hope now that as y'all have listened to this, you were able to go through and kind of create your own, or as you, as you're done listening to this, kind of thinking about it as you move forward as well. Because I know sometimes life feels really shitty. I know it's not always fun, and we may not always feel like we have something to look forward to. But I think with creating a dopamine menu, regardless of what's going on in your life, what time of year it is, whatever season of life you're in, creating this sort of dopamine menu just gives you little things to look forward to. And again, learn how to kind of polish the present, as we talked about earlier. So I also think it really just forces you to focus on gratitude a little bit, because all these little things in the moment may seem insignificant, but then when you think about it, you recognize, well, we have a lot of really good things going on in our life, big or small. So I really thought it was a cool concept. I'm glad we were able to create an episode around it. Yay!
I love it. This was good. Well done.
This was fun. And with that, we wanted to wrap it up, not with a hot take, but with our weekly obsession, which these could both, I feel like, kind of play into the dopamine menu.
Oh,
so
for sure.
Do you want to go first, Becca, or should I?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Let's hear it. Like this would have fit into the appetizer because we're both obsessed with our morning coffee. Mm-hmm. Is that Natalie and Tara from Discover Ag?
Yeah.
I was thinking about this, Em. You'll understand this. I don't know if any of our listeners will understand this, but they're my new Kale Couture.
Oh, yeah. She's a blogger Becca and I love.
I had to unfollow Kale Couture. Mad respect to her, but she kept convincing me to buy shit. So I was like,
literally everything. Becca was like, she recommends it, I'm buying it.
Literally, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I love her, but she's not good for my wallet. So now, Natalie and Tara.
We follow Discover Ag instead.
But theirs are always like food based, so I feel more justified. I'm like,
you're gonna eat it.
I'm not buying another freaking gadget. I'm just buying $80 honey. Like,
yes,
sure.
Why not?
Well, because they had already been doing. They started doing tallow and colostrum after I was already doing it. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe I was on
the same page.
Oh, I was already on to something. And I was like, I don't really like honey, but they were scooping out this Manuka honey, the specific
really
brand
thick,
that they use,
right?
And it just looked like caramel. And I was like, oh, that looks so good. And I got it, and guess what? It is freaking good. It's so delicious. And so every morning I've just been, and apparently it's really good for allergies and sinuses.
I was just about to say that, yep.
Which, you know what? Anything that'll help with that for me, as I just sniffled, and you probably hear me during our episodes, it's just like a tick now. I don't even think there's anything in there. I'm just so used to sniffling.
Yeah.
But every morning and night, I eat a scoop of honey. And it's like a sweet little treat that's so good. But in the morning, I leave a little bit on my spoon, and then I stir my coffee.
Oh, I love that.
So I have my light cream, a little bit of flavor in it, and then my little bit of honey, and it's this indulgent little treat. So that's my current obsession, is my honey. Shout out Natalie and Tara for making me spend all my money.
But again, it's on food, so we're supporting agriculture. And now it makes me want another coffee. Okay, for me, I'm excited to talk about this as well. This whole episode, I'm always excited about our episodes, but just talking about things you enjoy is fun. So I am obsessed, literally obsessed. When I say obsessed, this is actually an obsession with Sabrina Carpenter's new album, Short and Sweet.
It's pretty good.
I don't know.
She's so petty.
I know. And all her music is
so petty. It's funny.
The songs are also, I love the type of those songs, the type of the music. It's all just kind of, I don't know if I want to say sweet, but they're kind of light, but they're, how would you describe it? I'm terrible at describing music, but they are
poppy.
just, Yes, poppy, but then they're all kind of like, ooh.
She's got a little bit of Ariana in her. She's got a little bit of Casey Musgraves in her. She's just like, she's a chill poppy chick.
Yeah, and that's her songs. Like most people, you know, they all kind of have that
sound. She's not dropping
sound.
bangers like Kesha. She's not dropping Kesha bangers. She's dropping, I'm going to be driving wishing I had this song in college when I was dating losers. Like kind of music.
Yeah, it's pop, but it's like a chill kind of vibey pop, and I love it. And so if you like one of her songs, you're pretty much going to like all of them. And I know she's had a lot of big hits this year, but every song is just so fun for, again, the music and the beat behind it. But then there's always just funny little random lyrics like thrown in there.
Good graces, turning loving into hatred. Like, I will hate you so fast.
Yeah, like there's just so many good little one-liners. All of the lyrics are good, but then there's just something you don't expect.
Yeah.
And so again, I love all of them and everything that's popular on the radio, love. But then there's one called Juno.
Oh, that song's pretty good.
And I don't know, for whatever reason, I was just not listening to it. And then I saw a video describing like, this is the perfect book talk song. And now I have legit in the past 2 days listened to it probably 20 times. I'm not kidding.
Yep.
Once I get a song, I get a hyperfixation on it. And there's the one part, it's towards the end of the song, where it says like, adore me, hold me, explore me, mark your territory. Then it says it again. Yeah. And can I say it on air?
I don't know if you can say it on air.
There's one part she just says it, and I'm just like, oh my God, that's hilarious. I can't believe she just said that. But now when I sing it in my
spicy.
car. Yeah, and that's why it's so funny. She's so cute and small, and then she'll throw some spicy lyrics in there. And it's so fun to sing. So I've been like screaming it in my car. And again, I keep thinking about book talk and how it relates to different books I've read of like different romance tropes.
Yeah.
And I legit just cannot stop listening to it. I want to listen to it after this, and I'll probably listen to it about 5 times. And it's funny how she also, like, you can make me Juno about like referencing the movie from years ago. It's just so funny.
She's it's crazy to think that one, she was a Disney star, and then she was also like, the internet canceled her so hard when she stole Olivia Rodrigo's boyfriend. Like, Olivia Rodrigo got famous because Sabrina Carpenter stole her boyfriend.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I missed that. In her one song where she says, I've been known to share, I'm like, what a comeback. Like, I don't know what happened to your lives. I don't know whose side I'm on or if I'm on any sides. But the fact that she, like, timed it perfectly to make a comeback and then makes fun of it and makes fun of herself is great. Yeah.
I'm here for it. Yeah. I like both their music. Olivia Rodrigo's gives me like Paramore punk vibes.
Yeah. I think and then literally Sabrina's Paramore like sued her because they're like, you're literally copying our stuff. And I'm saying, Paramore, let her.
It sounds good.
Because you're not doing it anymore.
Yeah. Like, I can support both equally. Love a good pop powerhouse. And I just love that pop girls are really having their moment. Well, like, I feel like they always have. But
pop and country are equally having a moment right now.
Mm-hmm.
And rap, hip-hop-ish. Yeah. More of the funky, like, hip-hop, I guess. There's just good music right now across the board.
And it's not necessarily bangers, though. It is kind of like what I have a lot of playlists. I have a vibing playlist specifically. And a lot of music that would kind of fit on there right now when I'm driving and I just want to feel like I'm in a movie.
Yeah. Oh, one of my highs should have been Casey Musgraves.
Oh, yeah. You saw Casey Musgraves.
Yeah.
So that could also be your weekly obsession.
Yeah. Her concert, unbelievable. It was so good. I'll just leave it at that.
And I saw she intertwined some Chapel Roan in there too.
The college students went, I had no idea what she was singing.
She sang Pink Pony Club, I think.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't recognize this song. Because I'm that old. Then when she started saying Pink Pony Club, I was like, oh, okay, I know this. But in the beginning,
I think I know what this is.
These people went crazy in like the well or the pit or whatever for the song. I'm like, why did they go this crazy for Golden Hour or Butterflies or like one of her most, or Arrow, her most iconic songs? And I'm like, oh, it's literally not her song.
Oh my gosh.
But it was
that
fun.
Looked awesome too.
She was her vocals are unbelievable. Like,
I know, it's like they're ethereal almost.
She
the way
honestly
she sings.
kind of seems like a fembot. from Austin
Yeah.
Powers. She gives
Similar vibes.
major robot energy.
Similar vibes.
Yeah.
I could see it.
So,
Wow. I'm amped up after this episode because I'm
I
thinking
know.
of all the little things I want to do.
This is like the best way to start my day before I go to work, because now I have a busy day ahead. I'm just going to be rolling through. Okay, I'm stressed. What can I do to boost my dopamine?
I'm going to be listening to Juno 1,000 times, screaming that one part specifically because it's so funny. I hope everyone listens to it afterwards. And you'll hear the one part and probably be like, I know what they were talking about.
Don't listen in front of kids.
No, there's just the one line that does not probably need to be played in front of them. Or they won't know anyways, maybe.
Yeah, until they start repeating it in class.
Not Cowgirl Talk's fault. We warned you.
You have been warned.
Oh, man. Okay, well, I've had so much fun building a dopamine menu with you. And I hope y'all can go through and kind of build your own dopamine menu as well. And like I said earlier, if you build one or have some to add, please let us know. I'm so curious to hear kind of what everyone does for their own dopamine menu. And if you want to continue following along, of course, you can subscribe to our show. If you've enjoyed it, please leave a review. We do so appreciate when y'all reach out to us telling us what you've enjoyed. It makes us giggle and laugh because it's so cool. And of course, we're on social: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Follow us there if you'd like. And just again, thanks for tuning in, everyone.
And as always, have a great day, cowgirls. Bye.
Bye.